have a code to Easy Class. Once you've completed the quiz, which is to the left, and also there's a library with a PDF file, please then go to Rachel Gibson, BA Honours, and private message or contact me at team@thedigitalpsychic.com. If you'd like to join our Facebook group, that is now on Facebook, Angel Beach Training Area. So great community online for social learning, meeting new people there. To the left of Easy Class is the quiz, as I said, so please do complete that. And you can also join the Spiritual Academy of Angel Beach subsidiary of Rachel Gibson, the digital psychic founder of Facebook page Social Learning. So we've got two groups now. One of them is the training area, and also then we have the certified angel reader space. So basically every class that I do, so once a class is finished, the video should go into Easy Class. When there is a class live webinar, the details of the scheduled classes are in Easy Class. Sorry, not Easy Class, they are on the training center, the Angel Beach training page. You go there. The webinars are then put into each section of the class because they're very unique to those that have bought them, obviously. Okay, and then from then, like, I will be doing occasionally lives, discussions and stuff like that. Now, just because somebody hasn't paid this course doesn't mean that they can't discuss it, because at the end of the day, the result of any of these classes essentially is that people want to have certification in it. Some, maybe not. I don't think that there's any harm to discuss what we've talked about in a general way via the Facebook page. Okay, so, you know, there might be a live where I come in and talk about stuff and do meditations and things like that, or there could be just a discussion base and stuff like that. For me, it's really, really important to make it inclusive as well as exclusive. So this part element of the theory exclusive with obviously your quiz at the end, and then make it more open so that people can discuss and join in if they wish to, because then we've got more of a balance. The classroom chats, the problem with the classroom chats was you can't really see a post fixed, posts go up and down, even as it does on Facebook, which is difficult, but especially in a chat forum. So the chat forums are no longer. I will not be putting them back. The only place that you can go and actually do that is the Groovy Bar. I do, if people want individual mentoring, I have started to offer that again. I used to always do it that way. And then people would have joined the group. So people would have paid, they used to pay £100, have an hour and a half with me, and they'd meet their guides, and then they would start their journey and then practice and stuff like that. Now for this, it's essential that you do practice, okay? Because you do need to have testimonies or validations. Don't be shy, use the group, it's easy. All you have to do is put a post up. So you put, I don't know, spiritual development training, okay? And then you just go on there and you literally do a reading. You have to get the hang of practicing, because it's not going to take a magic wand. Effort equals success. It has to come from yourselves as well. You have to start to learn to just do, okay? It's easy for me to say, you might think, it's like I've been doing it for years. But for me, I had to take a step as well. There's always a step to take. No matter what we do, we have to make steps in order to get where we want to get. So, you know, and I appreciate that, you know, things have changed. Change is good. That's part of also a journey in itself. So mediumship, what I do with every, you know, all of these courses is reiterate. I will go back, because part of the memory is actually keep repeating. That's how you remember, so that it gets fixated in your mind, so that you do know. We're going to talk about protection. So mediumship and protection is fundamental in mediumship. It's very important, because at the end of the day, we're working with energy, and sometimes other energies enter our space, and we need to know how to protect ourselves in order for that space not to be invaded. It's almost like a germ, you know, like when our cells are being attacked by some sort of bacteria or something like that. If you see that as a way of protecting yourself, you stay cleansed, you stay away, you avoid alcohol. Alcohol and drugs is not good in mediumship, I can assure you. Also, cleansing using Epsom salts, calling Archangel Michael, making sure that you've got a clean, sacred space, saging, ensuring that you like have an invisible cloak or a shield around you. Imagine silver, glittery wings, whatever it is that suits you. But I cannot stress it enough that using drugs, drinking alcohol, it's very, very, very not good. Okay, it's just not good in this type of work. You will be attacked, okay, because fundamentally what you're doing is abusing your body and you're abusing your temple, and that's part of the soul. Essentially, it is because it's easier to attack. So just like a germ, if you're vulnerable on the outside, the germ's able to get in on the inside. It's no different. Okay. If anybody has any dependency problems and stuff like that, I suggest you get counselling for it and then come back to your mediumship. I strongly advise anybody with any issues to be avoiding mediumship at all costs until you're at the stage where you're able to do it. And that's part of why it's in my terms and conditions about the vulnerability aspect. No, I don't say about drug use or stuff like that, but it's common sense to not be, you know, vulnerable to spirits and making sure that you're safe. So advancing and developing the third eye. Developing the third eye is interesting because people will say, "Oh, I want my third eye open. I want my third eye open," but it's about developing it. It's like a muscle. So it's no different if you've got, you know, you want to tone your body or tone the muscle. The third eye is exactly the same. The more that you use it, the more that it opens, and it's opening up to a new channel and a new world. It's a different world. It's a different dimension. I describe almost like the realm is a computer game. You know, when you're playing a computer game and you're on the first level, and that's Earth, and then you're going up to a different level. That's how I view it. I see everything in steps. Everybody will view things a different way, and it is for you to decide what works for you. But developing the third eye is about using it. Now, what I mean by that is you can do training techniques such as, like I did on, I don't know if you saw it, but if you haven't and you've just joined me, please do go and look in the Academy Facebook training page. And please email me if you want a link to that. Is you imagine, like, you know, I pretend to put something in my hand, what's in the hand? Straight away, what you're doing is you're trying to use your intuition. You're training that third eye before you go into sleep. Think of a thought that you want to wake up with. Any simple techniques, there's so many different techniques out there, but using it, meditation is the best way to do it. Also using crystals is another good way. Holding a crystal with intention and ensuring that, you know, asking the crystal, especially clear quartz matter crystal, that's a really good one to have by your side. Really good to just hold it, focus, start opening up and channeling exactly what it is that you want. Okay, when you're opening your third eye, things look a bit different. Okay, some people might say blockages, right? When it comes to blockages, it's an interesting concept, but blockages is actually nothing to do with your third eye, really. It's not. It's just more to do with your auric field. So the blockages will be because of the situation. Maybe you've got issues at home, or that's blockages. Because your energy needs to be clear and it needs to be concise and it needs to be pure, because we have to have good intention. That intention's everything. You know, where you might think you're doing good sometimes, and actually, your good intentions there. If you ever had a situation where people have said, but that didn't work out for me, you did wrong. Oh, but I had a good intention. Make your intentions pure. Make sure that it suits your soul and what you're doing. Make sure it's also, you know, going to have a great effect for others. Be careful and cautious of how you deliver what messages are coming through to you also. But having that pure intention removes blockages, because at the end of the day, that's whom you are. It's identifying with whom you are. And advanced mediumship is really that. It's really about looking into yourself and looking into who you are. Like, and once you identify with who you are, you identify with the world around you. When you can identify with the world around you, you can open your eyes to the worlds beyond you. It's the seeing, it's the knowing, it's the telling. Have you ever heard of, I mean, I recall a great manager of mine saying to me, Rachel, that's perception. At the time, didn't like him. Looking back, he was right. Perception. What I view something as, someone else views something as, is different in that person's eye. You have to be careful and cautious. Never ever to be judgmental and things like that. So developing the third eye essentially is really getting to know and identifying with whom you are and the rest of the world around you. And, and a mirror image of a reflection of whom we are in the eyes of others too. If you ever looked at somebody and going, you know what, you're really horrible, you're really evil, that's only a reflection of what you see in yourself. If you see the world and see others in the eyes of the angels, you see no fault. You will see beyond it and you will make amends. You can't always forgive people, but we can learn from people. You see in the eyes of the angels, the reflection is a pure, true self and inner strength. We're always going to be looking at faults in others, then we haven't really got a true reflection of whom we are. It's almost like a mirror image of our own faults, essentially. Always try to see in the eyes of the angels. And when you're developing your third eye, the world does look different. Things look different. People look different. The world is different. It's not maybe as it seems. Because we're consumed with all issues and world troubles as we turn on the televisions and look in the newspapers. We're faced with atrocities and anger and ill and lies sometimes and corruption and all sorts of things. Activating the third eye is becoming true self. It's eliminating your world and starting a new fresh journey. And through meditation, the real world opens your eyes as you look up to the horizons and you see the world exactly as it is. A very magical, beautiful place. Yes, we'll always have issues and we'll always have lots of troubles in the world because of low vibration. And meditation is about raising that vibration. It's about raising that frequency in order for us to be able to sustain a higher level of self-worth and also being in connection with ourselves and the universe. So one of the most important things when you're going through this journey is to meet guides. Now, for me, your guides is essentially our shadows. It's the Jimothy Cricket. It's the person that is telling us, yes, this is the correct path. No, it's not. You ever heard of the saying with the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other? But there are ways, there's methods and many techniques out there where we can actually learn to meet our guides. Now, for me, every person's guide is unique to them. Every journey is unique to you. There is no way, not one right way of doing this. This is your path, this is your journey. And we're all going to be coming from various perspectives. I'm now classed as an international medium psychic. My dream was always to earn money doing what I loved. And I'm very fortunate to be in a position where I do just that. And I recall very private, actually. This is when I met my guides, I was in a very bad place. I was in a very good place in who I am, but the world around me wasn't a very good place, and I started seeing things that didn't really meet my standards. With colleagues and people that I worked with and people that you think should be trusted. And I remember sat down one day and I cried, and I was crying my heart out because I thought the world isn't looking like it did when I was little. Did my father lie to me? Did my dad always sort of brought me up in a fairy tale land, really, even though, he was a single parent. Mum left at 8, and, I'm sure she won't mind me talking about this because we're great. We're wonderful. I love her. She loves me. And she didn't go too long. And, my dad, he was in a very, very bad way. And I was sat in a room and I was crying and crying and crying. All of a sudden, these voices were around me, and they become almost my way, my path. They were there to look over me, to make sure that I wasn't alone and not scared when I had to look after my brother at the age of 8. And then all of a sudden, you've got people around that you think that you can trust when sometimes they don't. That's not, for me, that wasn't a bad thing. It was an experience. It's in our darkest times that we meet the angels. It's in the darkest time that we meet our guides. I've had a really fortunate life with bad experiences. That's how I put it. Because at the end of the day, without those bad experiences, I wouldn't be who I am today. As I was growing up, I saw the world, and my dad always said, but the world's still magical, still a magical place. So he ended up bringing me up as a child when I was younger, and he would always give me magical things to think about. And when he got better, because he was poorly for a while, and I always had this vision of this beautiful place, and it's thanks to my dad, really, and his guidance that made me realise that the world is magical. And I lost it for a moment. I lost it, where you look at life and you think, but that's not how it was portrayed to me. My dad lied to me. Did he lie to me when I saw the corruptions and lies and the way that people treat each other and treat animals and stuff? And then one day it occurred to me that that was part of the plan. That's part of this journey. Without all the strife, without all the troubles, without all the woes, then how could we possibly be in tune with our inner selves? So our guides cannot just only be the guides of the spiritual nature. Our guides are also the voices around us that surround us daily. It's the lies, it's the corruption, it's the everything that we see. The window of life is in every single lesson and person that we meet. Our life journey is not just about meeting spiritual guides. Our life journey is amongst us. It's the birds, it's everything, it's the whispers in the trees, it's the spirits of nature, but also it's you and I, it's everybody we meet. So meeting our guides is essentially meeting our inner selves and our own demons and our own strength. But meeting our spiritual guides, to me, is that connection and identifying with whom we are. It's that mirror reflection of our true selves. My big brother, to me, is a reflection of myself and my strength and my warrior when I'm feeling low. He is the one that will pick me up, to guide me, to realize who I am, to make me stronger, to help me see through others' mistakes, to see the beauty of the eye of the eagle, to be able to identify with truth and honour. And then Gypsy Lady Rose is fun and cheeky, but a reflection of whom I am. I then went through another difficult situation. I was actually homeless and I got strength, lots of strength. I must have had strength to do a degree. being homeless with children and going through a very, very bad struggle in my life. And then as I carried on, and lots of other bad things happened, I sat down one day and I did a meditation, closed my eyes, saw this beautiful sunset, and there I saw this vision of Lady Gypsy Rose on the beach. And I'll never forget that. She looked Egyptian, she had brown, long black hair, sat there and she looked at me and she went, "I'm with you." And I realised that was me. It was a reflection of myself in me. It was the person that I was searching for. That's my guide. It's in me. They walk with me. And then when I was doing a reading, and that wasn't very long ago, last year, all of a sudden I had this vision of this big guy Indian, with this eagle. And once again, I realized that was me. It was part of me. It's my identity. It's my reflection of the strength and my learning and development, my journey. So meeting your guides essentially is your center. It's yourself. It's your heart. So by focusing and centering yourself, by focusing on your heart, that's how you really meet your guides. You can't imagine, like, there's the center of your heart from your gateway. Remembering that special place, that special time when you're relaxed and at peace, and bringing those feelings back and allowing it to cover your aura and your surroundings, enabling you to help to heighten your awareness. And then you create your safe space, inviting your personal spiritual guides into you closer. Essentially isn't any imagination of a figure of person or a leprechaun or anything. It's identifying with your inner spiritual self. You are the best guide. Your guides are within you. We've all got memories. We've all been here before. If we haven't been here before, we've got here from somewhere. We are our own testimonies to our own lives. Your experiences, all the bad things that have happened to you, you have to take them with you in order to guide you through your journey, and accept them as the most precious gift that you could have. Every single thing that's bad essentially is a good thing. And I know some people would have, well, how do you explain this and how do you explain that? That's easy to say because, I've been through this and I've been through that. Okay, so have I. And so's a lot of people in this world. Every single one of us. You tell me one person that hasn't gone through hell in life, because Earth is a low frequency. It is a low vibration. So we've all gone through those difficult times. But when we realize that they are our lessons that guide us through our path and our next place, our journey, things change, they alter, the energy alters, things become possible. Everything is possible. Nothing is impossible. My grandmother used to say to me, there's no such word as can't, Rachel, because you can. She's right. There is no such word as can't, because you can try. So you link to your guides. If you're going to do it metaphorically, when you go to the gateway, above you can see your crown chakra, seeing a white light wash through your whole body, bringing the feeling back, and that you allow that aura to come through you and your surroundings. And then what that does is heighten awareness. So you can invite your personal guides for them to come closer. Now, what that really means is that you're allowing yourself to become part of yourself by meditating and becoming who you are. You're attuning to your higher self. It's funny, isn't it, that our guides always have a little bit of similarity about us when you do visualize them, because you start seeing them in a visual. Then you'll start thinking, well, wait a minute, whoa, that leopard was a bit cheeky like me. Oh, that native's around me because I'm wise and I like native things. Really start to look into yourself. Who are you? Write down, who am I? Try and sum yourself up in a couple of words. What you do then is you feel the energy changing, you feel presence in your space, and then you ask guides for a sign. Now, for me, asking a guide for a sign is knowing that you're on the right path. Can be a feather or anything like that, because you're assigned angels and spiritual guides will come to you. But your best guide is that one that you have to do. First and foremost, trust in thyself. If you can't trust yourself, you're not going to link to nothing. But you have to allow to receive. So ask and receive. You might see a sign or a symbol, and you just you just breathe in and you trust those guides. Even thank them. Walk back to the gate above the crown chakra with them and feeling the energy changing all around you. And what happens is it does get lighter, and you can focus on your body and move from your body. I mean, all of this, like all of these things, meditation walks, all of it is a bit cranky, really. Do you know what I mean? You'll watch videos, you'll see videos, you'll talk, meditation, going through this field, and all of a sudden you see this bright light, and then you're going to be a medium. It doesn't work like that. Life isn't like that. Working with you, yourself, becoming whom you want to be, looking into your heart, asking yourself some questions, facing demons. That's how you become a medium. Because what you're doing is you're recognizing your worth. You're recognizing that we're all part of a much bigger plan, the master plan. No wonder why Oasis put that in one of their records. And then this becomes metaphorical. This becomes just the tool, the technique. You can ask your guides for messages once you identify with them, and you let it happen just by breathing, trusting yourself and trusting your guides, asking for a message. And if you have a question, you can ask how, or simply wait for a message from your spiritual friends. And you give gratitude and you walk with your guides and you can talk with your guides, feeling the energy changing around you, getting lighter around you, focusing on your body and moving your body and opening your eyes. These are meditation techniques. This really does open the gateway to seeing a different world, a different dimension. That world that my dad talked about exists. It exists because it's within us. It's in all of us. So your intuition, you have to rely on it. You have to believe in you. You have to think, well, actually, why am I thinking that? Why am I smelling that? Why am I touching that? Why do I feel like, I'm part of this different place, this different world? Because you have to believe in it. That's your intuition. When you're making a decision about something, you have to believe in you. There's so much life can throw at you just in a second. Every day we take for granted. Not everybody, most people, because we're consumed with so much else that we forget what's real and what matters to us. Life matters. Love matters. Precious moments with our memories of our loved ones matter. Life can be taken away in 1 second. You might get a phone call later, oh, so-and-so's not here anymore. It's important to remember that we have to be part of ourselves, growing, learning, developing, but most of all, being grateful for every single moment and second. When we get a decision that we have to make, use our intuition with love and honor. not with hate and spite and jealousy and all of those motives that only serve ego and nothing else. Intuition is your real, true guide, is your real, true inner higher self. When you're in touch with yourself and you're in touch with your guides, you automatically are in touch with a very nourished intuition, a very cleansed intuition, a space within yourself that's sacred. And when people try to attack it, it bounces. It will serve its purpose and it will bounce back. That is your intuition. Your intuition is almost your feed. It feeds you. It tells you. It's a response. Ever get that washing machine stomach feeling? Wishy-washy stomach feeling. That's your intuition telling you something's not right. Your guide is yourself. It's your inner you. So keeping vibrations high, meditation, time out, love for yourself, baths with lemons, really good. Get some lemon, prop it up with some soaps and stuff like that. And what you actually do is get some Epsom salts and you add lemons, really good for cleansing. Okay, honey's really good as well. Look after you. Look after what you're eating. You know what you're eating. Look after yourself and drink plenty of water. Stay away from drugs and drink. It is no good. I can't emphasize that enough. But like I said, if people have dependency issues with drinking drugs, you need to be seeking support and help. We've all been there. We've all made mistakes. Everybody has. Tell me somebody who hasn't made a mistake. It's about admitting to it and growing from a mistake that makes us better people. Because we're lying to ourselves. So drinking drugs might make you feel better for a little while, give you that boost, give you that confidence. At the end of the day, though, you're not being honest with yourself. It's not the true person you want to be, really. And I know that's, have something bad. I mean, moderation by all means, but I'm just talking about, I've experienced people trying to do spiritual work when they're absolutely off their heads. And it's like, it's dangerous. This isn't a game to play with. The spiritual world is not something you just play with. It's not a game. People doing Ouija board stuff like that think it's, and it was created as a game. It's not a game. It's not a game when you're talking to other people and they're crying their eyes out because you've got a loved one or because they feel suicidal. It's not a game. People have been playing games in the spiritual community. People have tried it with me. It isn't a game. It is life. Life's important, and it's not a game to be messing around with spirits. That's somebody else's loved one. It's very serious. This business, advanced mediumship, any type of psychic work is a serious, serious thing. Entertainment purposes only. That makes me laugh. It's life and death. But for me, it's more than that. It's life and eternity. It's not a game. If anybody's getting into this, you have to be really, really serious about it. It's not just about getting a certificate, because you're dealing with your inner self. You're dealing with a world full of unknowing. If you're going to walk into the unknown, you have to be shielded. You have to be guarded. You have to be tested. You have to have integrity and honesty and all of those things. You're being watched 24 hours a day. Angels, my boss. You have to have that. You have to have self-healing. You have to get that for validation, because your intentions are everything. If you've got ill intent, that's going to come back to you. You cannot do a reading with false intentions. You have to do it because you're doing it for the right reasons. or else it comes back to you. What we put out there comes back to us tenfold. And that's got nothing to do with witchcraft or anything like that, because do you know what? Even with the craft itself, like witchcraft, runes, anything, dragon, reiki, whatever, it's the same flimming thing. All of it's the same. I could put it all and mix it up in one pot, in one cauldron, because it's all to do with life. It's all to do with putting good intentions when you're cooking. If you're going to be cooking a roast and then all of a sudden, you know, you're not very happy at that moment in time, you're going to burn the roast potatoes because your intention's not good at that time. But if you've got a beautiful intention, you're going to cook the best roast dinner in the whole wide world. You've all done it where you sat there and you stood there and you're cooking away and you've got the wine, you know, a glass of wine, moderation, with a bit of lemonade, okay, and or you know, a glass of water, whatever, a cup of tea, and you're making the best beautiful thing because you want that for your family, all wrapped up with love. You know, when ladies and men have baked cakes because they put love into that, it comes out great. It's exactly the same as when we're working with people and we're working with the spiritual community, be it witchcraft, whatever it is. If you have got a good thought in your mind and you've got love in your heart and you're putting good out there, then it's going to come back out good, isn't it? You're going to have good impact on yourself and others. Now that is cause and effect. If for 1 second you start hammering around your, I don't know, making a cake and chucking loads of stuff in and you're thinking bad things and you can't be bothered to even put the shape right, it's going to be a bad mess and it's not going to have it, and it's not going to have a very good end result. It's no different. Intentions are everything. Before going to sleep, ask the angels to support you. Ask the guides to watch over you. Trust in yourself. Ask for assistance and meditate. Trust. Hard thing, trust, isn't it? But it's a lot harder if we can't trust ourselves. Do you know the only way you can get attacked in this spiritual community is by not believing in you? Believe in yourself. When trolls come, when people tell you you're this, you're that, that's them. That is them. That's a mirror image reflection of who they are. Because they just don't cut it. They can't trust themselves. Trust is a big thing. I trust myself. And by trusting myself, you gain trust. You gain. Because what else can people see? If you trust you, then people are going to trust you back. You're always going to have people out there that are going to tell you who you are. People think they know me. I know me. Nobody else knows me. Because nobody else can know you. You'll only in this lifetime give yourself 100% to one person if they're lucky. And even then, that would be most probably 90% of you. You always keep that core to yourself. That is your core. That's who you are. Trust yourself. And don't expect. Expectations is disastrous, because if you're expecting something, then you've already put out there that it's not going to happen. How can you expect anything from somebody else? Always trust you. Always be a true reflection of who you are. Have great expectations of yourself, but not of others. All of these things are basic life skills, but they're fundamental on this plane. And they're even more fundamental in the planes above. Now, awakening. When you awaken, it's an interesting concept, awakening. When did we wake up? We go into this dream state, theta state, and You know, what's reality? What's not reality? Are we awake or are we in sleep? Awakening. The symptoms of awakening is being true to yourself. You get quite shaky and feel sick, and you must probably get awful stomachy feelings and stuff like that. Be you. Be awake. Awake doesn't mean that you can see something a little bit better than someone else. Do you know what? I don't look at myself and go, I'm awake. I don't look at myself and think I'm brilliant, amazing, you know? I trust myself. I love myself. And the things that I'm awakened to is what's around me. That's being awake. When we can see the pain in others' eyes, and my hearing my son in the background. Awakening is a realization of the true meaning of life and some of the things around us. You know, war. Or, you know, there's so much happening. For me, it's not about this brilliant, bright white light comes out of the sky. I'm awakened, I'm a chosen one, I'm a light worker, I'm a star seed. Oh, I'm so amazing. Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. We're awake when we're empathetic. We're awake when we can help and aid a homeless person. We're awake when we can see the pain of an animal and not see it suffering. We are awake when we're in tune with nature. We're awake when we could honestly help others in a very genuine way without that expectation, without that I want that back all the time. I want something from somebody. When we start to realize that we're actually in touch with ourselves and we've got all the answers within us because we've got those amazing guides working within us, that's when we're awake, because then we can go out there and we can help other people. So would you like to discuss that in Angel Beach training area? If you're not part of the Facebook group yet, please do contact me at Rachel Gibson BA Honours, the Facebook page, or please do contact me at team@thedigitalsproject.com. Thank you so much.